How I knew I was a cocaine addict. I was doing 1 to 2 8 balls of coke a day, and I didn't believe I was an addict. And how do you know when you are a cocaine addict? How do you know when you've hit to that point that this drug has taken your soul? That this has become your drug of choice and all you do is obsessed and fiend for it? What is that like? This is my experience. If you're new to the channel, hit the like and subscribe button. What's up, guys? My name is Eric, and I'm a recovering cocaine and alcoholic addict. I was doing 1 to 2 8 balls of coke a day. I was drinking 2 to 3 fifths of vodka a day because I had to offset everything. I self-medicated all through life. And how do you know when you are truly an addict, truly a cocaine addict? You are literally watching this YouTube video trying to figure out if you're an addict or not because of a drug, because of something that you are obsessed with. That right there tells you that you are an addict. Because we make up these fantasies and this stuff in our head that we're not an addict. We do everything we can to protect our addiction. That, oh, I can stop at any time. I mean, that's one of the common signs that if you are truly addicted by something, you're telling yourself, I can stop at any time. I can put that away at any time. I'm just going to do it a little bit more, and then maybe tomorrow I'll stop. Because I don't need it. I got some on hand, and I'm not going to dump it because that's a waste of money. So I'm going to just do it, and then tomorrow I'll go back after it. I mean, that is the mentality of an addict. A true addict, when you know you are just truly addicted to this drug, is you are obsessed with it. It is everything in life. I mean, my life revolved around getting cocaine, the way that it looked, the way that it touched. I fantasized about it. I obsessed about it, and that's how dangerous it is. A lot of times we don't realize that we are truly consumed by something. That all you're looking forward to is like the highlight of your day, the next day. Like you go to bed dreaming of the first time you're gonna hit it, the first time you're gonna do a line. That was what for me. The first time I was gonna do a line, and when I woke up and I was finally in the capacity that I could do a line, was that first line, the aftertaste of it, the drip of it, how it felt going down my nose, how it felt in my sinuses and my lungs, how all of a sudden it gave me instant energy. I felt like rejuvenated. I felt refreshed. I felt energized. I felt I could take on the world. And that is how obsessed we get as an addict. And for the one out there struggling with this, dude, I feel for you because I've been there before. I've been sober since 7/25/17. And cocaine was my drug of choice. I've done a lot of other drugs. But cocaine was what I was obsessed with, and that's what I needed. I just constantly needed it. I constantly fiended for it. And you'll find that it doesn't matter if you don't have money, because what? You lie, cheat, and steal to afford your addiction. And that's why, again, addicts, we manipulate everyone around us. And if you notice that, and you know in your heart, and you know in your stomach, like you're like, dude, I am fucking these people over because all I'm going to do is get high. When you know that in your heart, you are a true addict. You are truly consumed by it. I was so consumed by cocaine that I was lying to people about needing money, about needing time off so that I could just get high. I mean, I would lie about doctor's appointments to go to a hotel room with a girl and literally just do line after line after line and just have sex, and then line after line after line, and then just continue drinking and literally isolate myself from the world. And I would do that for like 5-6 hours. I'd be popping Viagra so that I could stay hard. I mean, my life revolved around it. I didn't care about work. I tossed everything aside because I wanted this, because I felt complete with it. I felt medicated with it. I felt calm. And that is how sick and twisted in the brain we get, that we have that obsession. And that is what addiction is. It is that obsession with this drug that makes us feel that this is all we need. And in return, because we're manipulating, because we're lying to everybody, because we're cheating everybody, we don't realize how many people we push away, how many people in relationships we ruin, why all of a sudden we continue this same pattern. And if you look back at your life and you continue this pattern, mine was almost every 4 years. Every 4 years, I would get this phenomenal job, I'd make phenomenal money, and I would self-sabotage it, self-destruct it, and just grenade it back to ground zero. And when I broke down and I lost my shit in my bed, crying and sobbing, and finally deciding to get sober, I'm like, what is the problem here? How did I just lose a job that was paying me $40,000, $50,000 a month? How am I back at square one again? And it was like, man, the only thing that stayed consistent of why this has always happened is when it got so out of control with cocaine and alcohol that I had to wake up and finally face those fucking demons and literally be just degrade and tear myself down of going, you're worthless, you're broken, you are just trash, dude. And you can change it though. And the only way you can change it is by stopping. And I literally broke down crying, sobbing. I was drunk even at that time, drunk. It was the 24th of July, just like, dude, I have to change. My relationship was failing. I had cheated on my wife at the time multiple times with multiple different women. I mean, I'm sleeping with my wife. I'm sleeping with the business manager upstairs. I'm sleeping with the secretary. I have girls doing lines off of my junk. I mean, I was just so obsessed with this high that I had to look and go, no, bullshit, dude. None of this isn't the life you want. This isn't fun. This is an obsession. And that is what addiction is that just true obsession. That there is no glamour amongst addicts. There is no glamour in addiction. And cocaine was such a hard drug for me because I thought that's what successful people do. I watch other people, especially in my line of work, which was sales, do it. Everybody else is doing cocaine and they can manage just fine. I can too. But I was so obsessed with it that I broke down and going, man, I repeat this process. And the only thing that is consistent is I protect my addiction. I protect my alcohol and I protect my cocaine. And if I want to change this, if I want to break this cycle, I need to change. I need to change in my soul. I need to get sober. And it was the scariest thing in the world for me. And you are an addict. You are truly consumed by addiction. If you are afraid to stop, if you are afraid of that unknown, that it is almost like a comfort blanket. It is that blanket that you wrap around you that, okay, this makes everything okay. And I can take on everything. It was almost like I had become so addicted and overwhelmed with life that this was my security blanket and strength to make it through life. I mean, it was scary. It was a scary moment of having a complete and total mental breakdown in bed and then waking up the next day going, I can't do any of this. And now the shakes come and now the hot flashes come. And now you start to go through all this physical withdrawals this is what makes you know that you are an addict, is that you start to shake. You start to want to vomit, you're dry heaving. Sometimes you're puking up some green, just fucking stomach acid. You can't eat. That it's a struggle just to drink water. That you're tired but exhausted. Your mind is just racing. Your body aches all over. Your legs feel like they're running, but they're not moving anywhere. It is overwhelming and it is so much, but it comes down to when you want it, you want it. And I remember that first day just going, I want this, I can do this. And fighting through it. But that's how you know if you're an addict. If you've watched this video going, man, am I an addict? I don't know if I'm an addict or not. You're an addict, dude. I'm not going to diagnose you. You know in your heart. We all know in our heart and know in our soul if we're an addict or not. And we're like, fuck, man, taking that inventory of ourselves and like, oh, dude. And it just gives us goosebumps to think about quitting. That's how obsessed we get with it. That's why it's called a drug of choice. And nothing prepares you for that sobriety. No one's going to get you sober. You're going to try and get people to enable you along the way. And you just have to keep staring at yourself in the morning and throughout the whole day and going, listen here, motherfucker, you can do this. You can do this. Don't give up now. Don't stop now. One more day, dude. 1 more hour. You can do this. Going to a meeting, asking for help, reaching out for support. For the one going through it, man, my heart goes out to you because I've been there. I've been there. I got links in the bio for NA and AA, great resources. I use them to help me get sober. And you might not think they work, but they work. Asking everybody for help works. Being real and true and honest, which is a bitch because we're so used to lying, works. That is what it's all about. I'm not a doctor, I'm not a counselor. My name is Eric, and I share because I know that when we share, it helps other people not feel alone. And if I can get sober when I was so obsessed with this stuff, so can you. I'm diagnosed with ADHD, PTSD, GAD, MDD. Those are my official diagnoses. I lost a wife and a father to suicide. I attempted suicide. I've self-harmed before. I take medication. And most of all, I was an addict. And I've been sober since 7/25/17, going one day at a time. And you can do this. Click the like and follow button. Comment down below, because the best thing with an addict, especially when we're getting sober, is knowing that we're not alone. And you aren't alone. And you got this. So don't give up. Reach out for help. Tell everybody you're an addict. Be honest with yourself. Be honest with them. Hit that fucking ground. Let your face smash against that ground. And then pick yourself back up. And believe me, life will get a lot better.